And welcome back again, students. Just a quick overview on what digital marketing is and what we're going to be experiencing over the semester. So I want to give a quick a tutorial, but definitely an insight to what digital marketing is and how you'll be able to learn, the ins and outs of it, and also, have some fun along the way as well. So the reality is, digital marketing, a lot of it does involve math, or numbers in particular, for that matter. So being for impressions, CPM, CTR, cost per click, CPCs, or anything else like that. They are all calculated formulas, and you need to understand those. So while math is not a strong suit for most of you all, definitely not for me, I learned to embrace it once I understood the story they were trying to tell. So understanding those numbers is going to be important, which is why we'll go through a lot of different permutations of the simulations and everything else, and how you look at different numbers differently, and how each things all fit together. So, like this quote from Albert Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So just because it worked once doesn't mean it work again, or just because it doesn't work now doesn't mean it won't work going forward. Digital marketing is all about testing, reinforcing, and bringing that up. It's always a constant flux of changing, adapting, and learning from those results. That's why it's important to keep on changing with that. And what may surprise you is that more times than not, the marketing funnel, we do love a marketing funnel here. So each of these places we have awareness, opinion, consideration, preference, purchase. There could be different permutations of this as well, but it's all very distinct. And why it's in funnel shape is because you go from the widest, being awareness, and then narrowing it down. So everyone you reach doesn't necessarily convert, which is why the funnel is shaped that way, especially in digital marketing. On a good day, you may be getting 1 to 2% of people clicking through. Heck, let's just say on a great day, you have 5% of people clicking through. That means 95% of your impressions and everything else did not make a purchase at that point, or did not even hit the landing page. Does that mean you failed? Not necessarily. It's about understanding what those people are doing and how those people are approaching and really interacting with your brand and product out there. So, in a new funnel here that we have, digital marketing sales funnel is a step of an online journey. And each different metric, each different platform, each different advertising has its own different level out there. The top being much more consideration, thinking video, search and social influencers. Middle, a little bit more focus on converting as many visitors with that. And then the bottom is really people who have been exposed all the way through and are now willing to enact with that. And you'll see search lives in all these places, because think of how you search and how you look at for certain things. There are always different places in the funnel when you may consider different information until you finally make that purchase. So search is definitely a foundation that I want to build on and help you along the way there too. But believe it or not, as I alluded to before, just not a lot of people, maybe 5% on a great day, 2 to 1% normally, and sometimes even less than that, maybe clicking on your ad. Does that mean you failed? No. It's about understanding what happened out there too. It's being okay with the failure part of it. And with that being said, fail in this case is first attempt and learning. Understanding why people are doing what. And sometimes you learn more from the failure, quote unquote, than actually people taking action. Why people didn't act, or why people act, and how to get more of those people into the funnel. It's about always learning, reinforcing, and building that narrative out there too. So I am a big fan of the scientific model. So ask a question, have an hypothesis, do your research, look at your targeting, construct that hypothesis, build out a plan, test with an experiment, or test with a different plan, look at the results. That means either what you're targeting or your product was offering was good. If it didn't work out that way, or partially true, report the results, then try again. It's very cyclical. It's very much in that respect, and learning from what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Because as I mentioned before, even though you're reaching 100 people, those those 100 people may not be converting. 5 of those people may convert. So you have to build a profile and build a targeting audience based off the 5 people. So does that mean the other 95 don't matter? No. Understanding what's in common with them rather than what makes them different can be very helpful too. So you do have to have a plan A all the way to plan Z and beyond with that. So you always have to think things through and test your hypothesis. And just because it worked once doesn't mean it'll work again. So always change that creative, change the offer, change the messaging, change the cadence, change the call to action, whatever the case may be, making sure you're enacting that change and learning from that too. So now you've gone through different iterations of the plan. What next? As Thomas Edison said, when he invented the light bulb eventually, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways that the light bulb does not work. So taking that philosophy in mind and understanding what doesn't work and what currently doesn't work, what you offer, your product, messaging, whatever the case may be, helping to build that up and helping to learn from it, learn from the failure, and embrace it too. One of the last motivational things I'll say, every failure is a step to success if you learn from it. Going back to the first quote, don't do the same thing over and over again thinking it's going to work differently this time. Learn what's working, learn what's not working, and adapt and adjust accordingly with that. So, I'm not sure why stuff trends or what stuff comes to existence. You don't know until you try. So, like in this case, trends that are happening now, though, this and that, for that matter, is one of my favorite ones, glass throwing. So with that being said, I cannot tell you what's going to work on a day-to-day basis, but looking at what you can do from here is important with that. So if you want to understand what's trending and what's going on, you can simply go to, the TikTok studios and understand what's trending with that. What's trending now in the United States, where I found this and that, and then holding up, and then of course the ones TikTok back to school shopping, and seeing what videos are working here, seeing what's popping over here as well. It's about testing, especially in this day and age, and understanding what's getting into it. If you can't really do your own trend, try to build with that. But as you see the rest of the semester, it's not about only chasing the trends, because these trends happen so quickly. So it's about understanding your brand and being true to your brand, and then how do you build up from that as well. All right, on to the next.